here we have Yoda. All right, so same sculpt, but I think I'm going to lose this for a little while here because my battery in my computer is running low. This is a little too far from the eye at this point. Needs to go in a little more. There's a lot of things in room happening in between here. And this is a detail that I should not be working on right now because I'm still working on head structure, you know. But this is very much coming. Now, remember I moved the eyes out earlier, so I have to put together a little more clay and add more to the side because when I moved them out, I lost what I added onto the side of the eyes. And his eyes aren't right up on the edge of his head like I have them. He's got a little bit of fluff. What that'll do is that'll widen his head for me too, which he's got a wide head. I'm gonna mix up a decent amount of clay. Remember I did the hands earlier, so the hands are done. Now you can wear gloves with this. I don't have sensitive skin, so I don't. But you can. It's not too bad. It sticks a little bit to your hands, but not terrible. How I did here. Those are pretty close. So it'll certainly be enough to get me through the whole rest of the sculpture. I think my nose is too low. I'm going to cut off the nose and move it up. Don't freak out. Because my nose is too low. It's well below the eyes, and his nose is not that much below his eyes. I don't think I lifted them up a little bit, but I might have. And when I do that, I'm going to have to move that mouth up because it's just too low. Too much of his face is happening down here, and his whole face happens in this band. Again, we're just getting the clay mixed. I'm using Magic Sculpt, which is an epoxy clay, basically. It's a resin clay. Close, the cigar. And I am reaching a point where, you know, some of the earlier work that I did, it's really firming up. He's a cute little booger, isn't he? His eyes are very almond in this picture. Very almond shaped. But I really need to go for the more round eyes of this one. That's the picture I like right there. It's got the best view of the whole head. And yeah, I see some things I definitely have to do, and I'm on the right track. This is all about refining and dialing it in. Okay. Because his head does not swell out like this, the cheeks. It's pretty much straight out, straight up from the cheeks. There we go. It got to be nice. Every step we get closer and closer, and we're dialing in the sculpture. I could, have done this as a shoot it all in, however many sittings I do the sculpture in, and then make it into one, 20-minute video or so. This is every step, You saw me have to change the eyes. You saw me have to do everything. I kind of like doing stuff that way, where you see it all start to finish. I did a Demogorgon costume a while ago. I did it all. I think there is a little bit of a divot back here, but not up here on the eye itself. And I'm seeing there's a little more flat that happens here. It's part of the eye. Eyelid or a hooded eye, kind of very flat. Comes in and you get that sharp corner of the eye with it. Okay. And I need a little more material in here. It's kind of bulbous. Remember I said I got to move my nose up. That's right. Nose is too low. Almost right between the eyes. And now I have a little too much. I have a little bit too much lip here, which is good. I wasn't happy with that. I think I'm going to blend. I'll probably just cut the lip off. So I cut the lip off. I'm not that crazy about the lip. I'll blend the lip in. Put the lip together. This is pretty much well above where the lip was. Very complicated shapes, and they're easy to get wrong. It's real. The difference between a duck lip and a sharp lip is very subtle. Now I'm going to add a bottom lip. Bottom lip is very small. Very small. Very small. Still small. And his frowning muscles are prevalent. So I'm going to make two little balls here. Put them right there. Continue shaping this way. I don't have Shannon anymore. Let me take a second and look at comments. Yeah, I'm going late tonight. I got stuff to do. Thank you. Glad it's looking good. Hello, Isley. Thank you. Glad you like my work. I appreciate it. I am back. Good night, Gene. Snatchy the Clown. I sculpted me a baby Yoda out of polymer. It was a huge hit on quite a few sculpting pages on Facebook. You're actually on one of the pages, Halloween DIY. I will check it out. I made two earlier, a few days ago. So, and that's it. I'm caught up. Easy. It's easier to manage comments for 14 people. Yeah, I'm not wanting to make these like a bunch. I'm making a couple. And I have just lost my computer power. So there you go. Oh, you know what? I could put on an image of Baby Yoda on my TV. Find my remote. At home. I don't think I just have like the internet, do I? I have YouTube. Now you're watching me blur my television. You look closely, you can see what I search for on YouTube. So I've got to hit my search bar. You know, all the old stuff pops up. Hope it's nothing really weird. It's weird, because as I was making that face, I'm making that same face up on the TV. So let's go over one, up one. Let's search. Last thing I searched for, it turns out, was Baby Yoda. This is 2 minutes of cute Baby Yoda. Now I'm watching YouTube while on YouTube.
Baby Yoda, you are the cutest thing in the entire universe. We had no idea what to expect from the Mandalorian, but when we saw
I should mute them. I gotta find a good scene to pause it on. That's pretty good. Now his eyes are very almond there. I'm not going for almond eyes. And for safety's sake, I won't even show you guys the picture too much. Okay, but that shows me some good face structure. Not quite to the middle. Gotta play a little more. This is how life goes. Perfect. Look at that shot that I just froze it on. That's a good one. Okay. I'm not making Baby Yoda evil. The clamp handle looks phallic. Well, you should see when I attach him onto this sucker. He's downright impaled. Okay. There we go. But let's get him blended in. Adding these structures. I don't necessarily want this to be perfect. If it is a little cartoony all over, that's cool. You know, people can live with that. But if I make one part photorealistic, it all has to be photorealistic. Okay, so I have that now. I feel better about that. His lip is too puffy. I'm going to pull that back with a wire loop. I can do this best in profile here. Wet that sucker. Just removing material. Give a little lip shave. His face is no stranger to pouting. Reinforce this area a little bit right there. I'll do it again here so that's how the mouth happens. I'm going to open his mouth up a little bit. not going to end them down, I'm going to end them up a little. And that may not be entirely accurate, but that's what you're getting, because he'll be cuter if he's smiling the way that I'm drawing him anyway, or sculpting him. I'm pretty happy with that. This is much more Baby Yoda than it was before. I think so. There are kind of two planes happening here, one under the nose and one at the lip. I do a little filler on this side of the face. Like I've done this a couple times already. Moving those eyes change things, you know. I've got to fix some stuff that was okay. But the eyes were not okay, and I needed to do it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can watch the last video and watch me cut and break his eyes out so that I could fix them. It was disturbing to some of the viewers. All right, we're really getting there in this sculpture. I'm going to do some smoothing out over on this side because this is just so much smoother in the image. But there's a CG Yoda, there's a puppet Yoda that, I probably have, you know, some of my references are one and some are the other. And some of my references were other toys, were toys that are sculpted, because I know, you know, it's just going to be tough. All right, let's get in here with this guy. I'll do these under eye wrinkles. Okay, that goes all the way to there. Let's do another one. We'll make it a little more complicated. I really like this tool for pushing in those wrinkles. I'm going to calm down the bottom lip, making it smaller, less proud, because he has such a tiny bottom lip. Let's get some line mouth. Very subtle. I know you guys won't be able to see them. I'm able now to go in, and some of this that's almost set up, I'm really able to get nice detail and creases in here. All this is still pretty wet, but this is more than leather hard. I'm able to just go in and push in nice wrinkles. Not too many. He's not old, so I gotta keep from going crazy. And then there are lovely lines that kind of do this number on his face. They're going to cut into the cheek here. Do one of those. Wet brush. Those lines I just put in will calm them down a little bit, make them look more like wrinkles. We don't want anything severe. This is a baby Yoda. Baby Yoda's a baby. So he's not going to have harsh angles and harsh lines and things. And I think I need to get his eyes a little bigger. His eyes are very big already. I can just poke. I'm slowly moving down this lid. I think a little bit of the eye got hidden when I was reshaping that eye area up there. He has so much room in here, you know. But I think I need some wrinkles in there, but not deep wrinkles, just little soft lines. Okay. And all I'm smoothing this out with is water. I've got water. This epoxy clay is very good about being water soluble, kind of. And there are some wrinkles in his snout up here. They're not like anger wrinkles, so I got to make sure that they don't look angry. They just look a little alien. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with Baby Yoda's face. I really am. Too close, too close. Too far. So, yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. Back off again. Baby Yoda has some harsh brows. I want to be honest with you. This one is harsher than this one, and this one I do plan on calming down a little bit. But he really has some heavy, harsh brows. They're just not angled in and angry. They're heavier on the outside a little bit than on the inside. But he's got harsh brows. It looked much more like Mac earlier when the eyes were closer together. Okay. Boom. All right. So, yeah. I think this guy could use this, because this brow looks harsh because it's not filled in too much behind it. And this is Magic Sculpt, which really is a nice clay. I think I was turned on to this by Bruce. Hold on. Boy. Bruce D. Mitchell. That's who it is. I was turned on to this clay by him. I had seen it used in the year 2000 at Spooky World to make to redo mannequins, you know, and they just sculpted right over top of the mannequin heads. But yeah. Making sure the tip of the ear is right. But this guy is pretty darn close to being dialed in. I got smoothing and stuff to do over here. And each of these sides is going to get a little more ear work as I justify everything that's happening with the ears. He very much has a frame around his ear this way. Go. Now this does not blend as smoothly or as well as wed. It can, it just takes more work. So I go in, once I put a little worm down, then I'm dragging out the edge of that worm so it blends in with the other clay that's there. But what is sculpted there, you know, stays there. And all of this end gets dragged out. It's got to melt into the ear a little bit. And that's mostly hard up there because I did it so long ago. Are. This brush is cut down really short so I can aggressively smooth this. this video had subtitles, that part would say aggressive smoothing. Okay, very good. I got a little pocket that developed over here I got to fill in. I am using Magic Sculpt, which is a 2-part clay. Takes about an hour and a half or so, 2 hours to harden, to become unusable, and then it really hardens up overnight. That's pretty Baby Yoda-like, man. I mean, that does not make me unhappy. And I think that's what he's going to be. This is weird. Let's smooth that out. This little divot is not happening on the other side. And when his eyes go black, that is when he really gets to be cute. Okay, not in that kind of shape. This brow needs to calm down a little bit more, I think. Let's take a little bit off of it here. Dealing with a clay that is starting to harden. I think a razor knife might be best. But he does have some brows on him, so I'm not trying to take all that away. But it turned into a little ridge up there, and that's not right. It should be a softer ridge. Okay, I'm looking at that. I'm in pretty good shape. Okay. These hands are not hard, but here's his that's a little force hand that he's got. That he uses the force to manipulate things. And here's his little closed hand right there. So cute. So if I'm making a Baby Yoda, I gotta make his robe and stuff. I did make others before, and I used this material here, as you can probably tell. But I need to find some material to make the rest of it, because I used up all what I had of that. His outfit looks, you can see there, it's like just a nice brown cloth. Let's go into my other room. Oh, sorry, guys. This is some fabric that I have, but I don't like any of it. Look right in there. Jonesy, that's my kitty. Hey, buddy. Okay. So, I don't like any of that. This room deeply needs a cleaning. Molds. Let's go upstairs. I don't think you guys want to stare at nothing while I'm gone, right? You'd rather come with, I guess. Here's some more of that stuff. I think that's already sewn into a hood. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect, dare I say. It's the right color brown. Wonderful. Okay. Goodbye, Jones. Hanging out on top of a roll of leather. So, this is all of my wife's presents. I normally pack them weird. She's the only person I wrap presents for, so I kind of make it nice. All her presents are in there. Has garland around it, and I got all these little birds so that her presents look nice. But anyway. Okay, let's get back to work. And I'm just going to get this robe done tonight. Let's grab a yardstick. These aren't the hands he'll have, but they're about the same length. Let's go 15 by 20. We'll make it loose because what he's wearing is very loose. We've got plenty of fleece material for the fur cuff lining. Okay. I have a dirt dauber nest in this, which is wasps who make little nests out of mud. They're all over in Texas. Something sits still for a little while, it gets a dirt dauber nest on it. This is really nice fabric. I have 2 sheets here. I have it folded on itself. So it's making a nice, it'll be easy for me to work on. Go grab a marker, be right back. So 20 is right about here. I will go ahead and just cut that off. So I'm only dealing with what I need to deal with. I definitely want this side to be the outside. It's less shiny. So I'm going to flip it. So what I'm dealing with is now the inside of the garment. That's a folded edge. That is 15. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it at 15. None of this is super exact. It doesn't have to be. Just make it. I'm going to have a huge advantage when it's painted because Baby Yoda's green, and people will see it and see that it's green and say, hey, it's Baby Yoda. Much harder in the clay to make that happen. He's just going to be in a little tea garment. And I'm going to give him I think 4.5 inches will be plenty. I'm going to go check him real quick and see how long his arms are. His chest is about 6 across. So if this is 15, and it is 15, half of 15 is 7.5. It's the halfway point. So now if I want 6 inches, I want to put the 3 right there. But I've got to go around his body, so I'm going to do 4.5. And he'll have a little bit of a head hole here. The head hole has to be big enough to get his legs in because I will not be able to put this garment over his head. Okay. Cut it. Just gonna make this happen. That's my gargoyle. I don't want to sell it, James. My storage room is not moldy at all. I don't know what you're talking about. We don't really have a lot of mold in Texas because we're not a moist environment. We have some, but not like up north. Okay. There we go. Again, I'm cutting out the neck here. Just going to go get the hot glue gun and glue this puppy together. Hot glue gun can plug into my tripod. Now this is a much tighter weave fabric, so the hot glue won't get in between the fibers as well as it did on the other fabric that I use. So I've just got to make sure I push it really good. Oh, moldy, as in, yes, there's a lot of molds in the storage room. That gargoyle up there is actually an old Distortions gargoyle. I have a couple props that are old props. I have two awesome Distortions gargoyles. I have the old Don Post tarantula in the other room. Those are some of my favorite props as a kid. And another one is Ben the Rat. There's a real big rat. And he was in every single haunt, you know, all over for a while. Okay, now this one, remember this was, one of these edges was, oh, this one was folded over. I've already fixed it. Great. And I'm hot gluing this right on the edge, but it'll hold up fine. And this edge will also be inside of the garment. I'm going to flip it inside out. Remember, this is the inside, so I'm going to flip it inside out, and that will be how it go. Very hot glue gun. So don't touch this stuff if you can help it. Nice. Okay. Fold this back. I'm trying to give myself room. I want to make sure that this fits. I know it's going to be snug. And if it's not, I'm going to put trim on it. If it doesn't fit, the trick is I just slit it. And then when I put the trim on, I give it a gap behind the trim. So there's already room in this for me to expand it if it's too tight. Wish all of my clothes had that feature. But no, I just have to eat sensibly. All right. gonna grab some of the shearling fabric I need. Now this one is going to look better than the other ones that I made because this is much more accurate fabrics. I'm adding this to the inside so I can fold it over because Baby Yoda has this folded over cuff. I'm going to cut this one exactly that same length. Okay. And this I'm going to glue right side out because I'm going to fold it over. And you'll never see that hot glue in there. One thing that fur and even this short nap is so good about hiding glue seams and stuff. Yeah. So move on to this sleeve. Do the same thing. Need to grab another glue stick. Be right back. Now down this little bit again. Okay. Looks a little funky. I'm going to cut a strip of this shearling to just go down the front. And I'll cut a bit as his collar. But that's straight down the front bit. That. And let's say it's about that wide. And I'll use this as a collar. Okay, grab a fresh razor blade. It'll cut a lot better than what I was using. And why I use a blade on this instead of scissors is I don't want to cut all those little hairs. One of those little hairs that are there to hide my seam. Hide any glue that runs over or whatever, you know. So I don't want to use scissors. Great little piece of trim for the front. Now let's cut the piece for the collar. That will be plenty because the collar folds over like this. I probably could glue that already. Let me go ahead and just glue it together. I'm just going to put one end inside. Just reminding the glue that's in there that it is hot glue by putting in some more hot glue. Now it's got that nice little cuff which he has on his outfit. I think I can slide this up over the body to get to his neck. Done with my hot glue gun until I can put the hands on. I'll unplug it. Let's take a peek. No, you know what? I need the hot glue gun, so I have to put this trim on. But I can do that right now while the gun is still hot. Turn this inside out. Looks more like his costume than the other ones that I made. And you'll see how that inside out sleeve works here in just a minute. This is hard to turn right side out. Okay, so that looks like that. But now when I turn this, it's that fuzzy sleeve that Baby Yoda has. Didn't think you'd watch me fist fight with a little robe, did you? That's a bonus feature. Just stuck in the canal. We did it. This folds over just like that. And I think that's going to be tight on our boy over there. So I will open it up. As I glue in the trim. And this trim gives me plenty of room to fit him in there. Now see how this trim is going to give me like an extra inch of room? He's such a cute little Roby. Well, I glued a razor blade too. That could be scary. Okay, so that is a resin impregnated glue stick, okay? It is from a company called gluestix.com, GLU-STIX. That is the company name, gluestix.com. And they have all kinds of glue sticks. This is a high strength resin impregnated glue stick. And these smell a little bit like pine because that's the kind of, they have pine resin in them. Okay. Yeah, see, now I'm pushing that down and that got me a little bit more width through that chest, which is going to be really nice when I put him together. I don't want to glue the front to the back. I want to make sure that that's not happening much. Tee-hee. Okay, that's his little robe, and his collar will just sit up here. That works. Other than that, let's go over here. Other than that, I have his head is, it's not done. I think I'm going to add a little bit of clay right here on each side because his head is pretty flat. And I can't get a flat head because I'm on top of a doll's head. but I can make this look a little more flat. See how that does. Even use it right there and do a couple things with it. Bridge this gap a little. Now see, his head comes a little more straight out, but I don't want that much room between my eyes. My eyes are moved up more than they were, but not can't move them up any higher with the head I have. If I was willing to rebuild the head, I could. I'm not. But I think that does make his head appear a little flatter. One trick, don't make his head bigger because then his eyes look smaller. And him having big eyes that's what Baby Yoda's all about. Once I finish this, I'm going to give a final look. And I'm going to let this cure. And while it cures, I'll sleep. In the morning, I'll paint. And glue his hands on. His head will get head fuzz tomorrow. That's pretty fun and easy to do. Yeah, that's a much more solid connection of ear to head. I think that's nice. I think that works. Close my computer up before I cover it in water. His eyes are a little bug, but I didn't want to drill out the doll eyes to put the ping pong balls in. I glued them on top. And I didn't want to make the ping pong balls any smaller than half of what they were because his eyes are so big. All right, we are set. This is what Baby Yoda looks like. I'm going to sit here and stare at it a little bit more, a little more last looks. But I'm pretty close to saying, that's it, man. So I'm going to actually watch this video a little bit and catch some more Yoda faces. was the puppet. And it's tough to tell between the puppet and the CG, you know? You have to kind of just figure out how they move. And sometimes his eyes are wide open. Other times his eyes are not as wide open. Okay, so that's another good shot. His eyes are pretty almondy there, and mine are certainly wider than that. The head shape is actually pretty good as far as the silhouette along the top of the head and the silhouette along the top of my head. That's nice. Silhouette's a big deal. I did want a little bit more of a break from ear and head. So I'm putting that in there because it's in him. And I can use this clay here before it goes all hard and weird on me. So it'll look like a nice fold from the ear to the head. If I blend it into that, see? I just gotta blend it. So I'm not gonna blend much because I want it to look like a fold, so kind of ends in a fold. Blend, 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 blend. Okay, I prefer that. That's, see, every little thing that we do that changes the anatomy dials it in. And it's getting more and more Baby Yoda-like as we go. This was kind of missing. I put this on at first, and then I changed the head shape a little bit, and it went away, and I never put this back. This fold between the ear and the head. Okay. That's another thing I saw. Boom. I might be a little long from nose to mouth, but I don't think I'm that long. But I'm long. I gotta fix it. What stinks is I'm happy with the bottom lip. And I had to fix that because that distance between the nose and the mouth, it's important. It's one of the registers that people look at on faces. So that already gets me a little more Baby Yoda-like. And if I can push this bottom lip up enough, this is a very doughy kind of clay, you know. It's not marshmallow fluff like some clays are, but it's, I can move it this way, I can manipulate it. And his mouth happens before the bottom of the cheeks. And my mouth was completely below the bottom of the cheeks. soft. Okay. Put those lines back in that I just messed up. All right. What else is happening there? Working on my nostrils, I'm defining them a little bit. It does have cute little nostrils. But see, all this is really fine stuff that I'm not going to say that y'all won't notice it, but it's not really visual. It's hard to get on camera. I'd have to be right up on it for you to see the changes that I'm making. This side has a little more on the side of the head than this does, so I'll put a little more over here, but it's not a lot. Yeah, Baby Yoda he's kind of a tough sculpt because he's a baby, but he looks a little old. You know, you got wrinkles. It's hard to wrinkle a baby. You put wrinkles at something, it looks older. I'm going to redefine that lower lip with some pushing. There we go. That's the lower lip I wanted. Come in and define the corners of these eyes a little more. They're almost dry. I really got to push them. But I want a nice sharp corner right there. These aren't balls, you know, they're eye-shaped, but they're pretty darn ball-shaped for eyes. All right, I'm going to play the video a little bit more, see if I notice anything else. Baby Yoda's just stinking cute. For the record, the puppet is not as cute as the CG. Every time he's stupid cute, that's CG. Every time he looks a little stupid, that's the puppet. That is the puppet. looks different enough from the CG. My sculpture is off. So I'm kind of having to blend the two. And I'm saying I'm happy with it. So that's it. Your anticlimactic night end of this evening is me saying, that's my sculpture, and I'm sticking to it. It has to cure, so it's going to sit overnight. I'm actually going to take it in the house. It's a lot warmer in there, and it might slow it down immensely to have it be out here. Again, here are the two little hands. They'll go with me to the house. His little hand doing the force thing. He has a little closed hand. And I'll cut off the baby doll's hands and just glue them on and wrap them with the same material as the inside of his cloak. I want to paint him before I dress him. Technically, I could paint him now because it's a curing process, not a air dry process. Be fine, I'll paint in the morning. I got plenty of time. I want to say, you guys are awesome for hanging out with me. We got baby Yoda done. We got his little robe done. His little robe is over here. So you can see what he looks like with his little robe on. Little sleeves. And his furry collar that hides most of his face. Wonderful. Happy it's done. And it looks pretty screen accurate, actually. This fabric, way more than what I had the other time. Not 100%, but shearling, weird leathery stuff. You guys are awesome. I'm getting ready for Christmas, David. It will look good when painted. Thank you, Newman Brown. I appreciate that. Thank you, David. I'm good. I don't need a reference picture. I'm happy with it. Yes. It does, but I'm not worried about that repeating pattern on his head. I'm really not worried about it. I did it on the other ones, and it does get more and more subtle as it goes, and this is just meant to be viewed from the front, so I'm not worried about it. Okay. All right, so there we go. You guys are awesome. If Santa brings you a baby Yoda, more power to you, Billy. This one has a home already. You guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I didn't start till 8 o'clock. So now it is 1:30. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. And I took half an hour to go deliver presents. So really 5 hours. And I'm going to have an hour in painting him, I think. So he'll be about a 6-7 hour build. All right. Thank you guys very much. Oh, I will fuzz it. I am going to fuzz top of his head. So, yeah. Thank you guys very much for hanging out. You're awesome. Have a Merry Christmas if I don't see you before then. But I am going to go live when I paint tomorrow. And that'll be in the morning. You're awesome. Thanks for hanging out. Go make stuff.